Welcome to the Eurovision Kiki podcast. We're three Americans who've fallen in love with Eurovision. You've got Doug, Katie, and Steven here, and we're here to bring you the best information about the Eurovision Song Contest. We'll bring you the music, history, traditions, as well as all the tea currently surrounding the world of Eurovision. So buckle up and welcome to this week's episode.
And welcome back. We are here for another Eurovision Kiki. It is April when this is airing, and so it's almost here. It's going to be May very soon.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, Justin.
I was going to say, okay, Jason.
I mean, you can't say that without referencing Mr. Timberlake,
right?
But with that said, today, when we are recording this, we received the semifinal run order for both semifinal 1 and semifinal 2. And so that is what we're going to focus on today, is just kind of talking about, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Is this helping a country? So where do we want
Winners
to get
and losers from run order.
There you go. So I'm sure we all have some thoughts. Who wants to jump in?
Well, let's start with semifinal 1.
Yes, that sounds like a good place to get us rolling.
Yes.
I think biggest loser for me is Slovenia. They're early. They're between a dance pop hit, which, love or hate the song, it's high energy.
Yep.
And
we're going to put hit in quotes there.
Yeah. And then Estonia, which is already proven to be a fan favorite in the odds. And so it's going to be rough.
It's a tough spot.
And it's third in the run order. So it's going to be so early by the time voting opens. And it's like such a slow, sad, emotional warfare song, which we talked about last time. But I think that they're going to really struggle.
I kind of chuckled when I saw the lineup pop up, and you have Emotional Turmoil with Slovenia, and right afterwards you get Espresso Macchiato from Estonia. I was like, well, there's the caffeine jolt, because production knew that because everybody knew that they were going to lose the crowd and lose the momentum right after Slovenia. So they were like, wake them up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Slovenia helps themselves just with the song at all, but also just where you got placed, third, they're going to forget about you. I don't know if this song was salvageable with a run order, but this certainly does nothing to help.
No. I mean, and I'm trying to think about who could go on, maybe if they went right before or after Portugal, they would do better, because then it's oh god, this one, and then, well, at least it's beautiful.
Well, I feel like, again, Portugal's another one that's sandwiched right between two, well, at least one great hype song, and then another one that's bop adjacent.
Yeah.
Good luck, Portugal.
Yeah. Good luck.
I'm sorry. Portugal's going to have a tough time, because they're you get Estonia, Ukraine, Sweden, then Portugal, and then you get Norway and Belgium and Azerbaijan and San Marino. That is, it's going to be an energy shift, and good luck, Portugal. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, and sandwiched between Estonia and Ukraine is going to be where they put Spain for their showing, their non-voting showing.
Yeah. I mean, that's,
so it's just gonna be
there's gonna be a level of energy that we built, and then
a lot of uppers and downers.
Portugal.
Yeah. I think, Iceland opening the show, I think they're coming in with some fandom, at least with vibe, and they're gonna open it with a bang, which I think will be really fun to have them, come out and kick it off in those silver sauna suits. And then Poland, we'll see what they end up doing for their final staging, and then crash out hard on Slovenia.
Early bathroom break.
Yeah.
That.
So that's like for you, Stephen. We made it into the show. Okay, we rushed to get here. Okay, now I got time.
Oh yeah, poor Slovenia. Now, I do want to mention kind of where Azerbaijan ended up in the run order because they're sandwiched between two Italian songs.
Right.
You've got Italy, of course, doing their like
Sick Victorian child.
And then you have San Marino coming after that. So Azerbaijan is like wedged in there. I'm always worried for Azerbaijan, San Marino, and Malta, just in general with those three countries. But like especially so, just with the vibes of the Italian and what I've seen other folks on the interwebs saying about Azerbaijan. So,
but I think San Marino is going to benefit from their position, just being in, close to the end. A totally different vibe from Azerbaijan. And I know, the people online are loving Albania. I don't get it, but good for them. But like, I think that'll be a fun, like little like high point in there. And then like, C'est la vie is nice. And then, Croatia finishing us out. How do we feel about Poison Cake? Or no, they're not, but close to the end.
It's a really weird final three songs for me because, yes, you're right. You've got Poison Cake, and then they threw in Switzerland in there, and then all of a sudden Cyprus goes very last, which feels odd to me that you would bring us out of the contest to give us Switzerland and then say, but wait, there's one more. Just hang out for one more song. It feels a little weird.
And especially just like the energy difference between it'll be like Poison Cake and then Voyage, which is a lovely song, but it's
it's
like a little bit lower.
It's going to bring
energy.
You down.
And then at the end, which will be a good closeout, honestly. Like I feel like their opening and closing songs are going to be the good, like high energy, feel good. I think that is just going to feel weird with those three right together.
Honestly, I don't know how they could have made this any better because the stronger songs, in my opinion, come in semifinal 2. And production is about placing.
Okay, Sweet and Shade.
Anyway, I said the more stronger songs. And so you have a hodgepodge of songs in this one that are still good, but less strong. And so they don't know how to necessarily place them in a strategic order per se to make it like go well.
But I think both semifinals, right? Both semifinals are going to have those weird energy shifts because, when you think about like, okay, what are our like slower, more like sad and emotional songs? It's like your Slovenia, your Switzerland, your Montenegro,
Serbia,
your Portugal.
Greece, Serbia, Portugal, and Israel. I would say I would put in that category just because it's a slower song. Like and they're kind of sprinkled in both. So you have the energy shift.
You do have to find a place for them.
Right.
Would it have made more sense? I don't know. I'm just kind of like spitballing this. Would it have made more sense possibly to have swapped out Albania and Cyprus's order and put Albania last and Cyprus as number 12 in the lineup? Would that have gone a little bit better of a closing?
I think it's the hype. I'm wondering, like, because we know production's got to hand out, or like they drew for first half, second half, and then it's up to the producers, production to pick what order in the second half. I think that the hype around Cyprus and this like big reveal on stage and what's the riddle going to be about, I think that's why they probably got to close it out.
And I think what would have made more sense for me is having Switzerland go between like Netherlands and Croatia rather than between Croatia and Cyprus. Like, I think having it be, or having them finish out the show or something. Like, but I feel like having a big five, like, next to last, feels weird.
Big five, and then it's big five,
country,
and then another voting, and then another voting song. And so it's like, you can't just like shut it off and start thinking about who you're going to vote for, because you still have one more song to listen to. And let's just run through the order real quick, because we're just talking about them. Yep. So we open with Iceland, Vibe with Roa, Poland, Justina Steszkowska with Gaia, Slovenia, Clemen, How Much Time Do We Have Left? Then fourth is Estonia, Tommy Cash with Espresso Macchiato. Then it will go Spain with Esa Diva by Melody. Then Ukraine, Bird of Prey by Zifferblatt. Sweden, Barabarabastu by Kai. Portugal, Napa with Deslocado. And then Norway, Kyle Alessandro Lighter. Then Belgium, Strobe Lights. Italy, Volevo Acero Unduro. Azerbaijan, Run With You. San Marino, Tutta l'Italia. Albania was Germ. Netherlands, C'est la Vie. Croatia, Poison Cake. Switzerland, Voyage. Cyprus, Shh. Shh. Shh.
I'm excited for the second half of this lineup. Like, I think that, for me, is... And again, they drew first half, second half. It just so happens that the second half seems the more entertaining section, and I'm excited, like, ooh, that song's next. Ooh, this one's coming up. Whereas in that first half, I'm just like, meh, all right.
I would say definitively, I would agree with you if Sweden and Portugal were flipped, and then I could be like, all right, Sweden down, let's go, you know?
Right.
But, you know, having Portugal in there, it's like, oh, damn. Okay, got another one.
I've got some love for Poland, so I'm excited to see Poland pretty early. I love me some espresso macchiato, so that'll keep me going. And of course, I got love for Melody and my Spain. Mm-hmm. So there's some stuff early on that will at least keep me motivated during the first half. But to what you're both saying, I'm more jazzed about what's to come in the second half of the first semifinal than I am the first half.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Portugal was given zero favors in this one.
No.
I'm not saying that I like the song, but
it
seems like the production was like, yeah, we know you're not gonna make it, so let's just put you here. Sorry.
Yeah, and I am worried for Azerbaijan. I don't think that they've gotten quite as much hype as some of the other ones that I'm like more on the fence about, that have gotten a lot more love online. And so we'll see. I mean, I think going so in the middle, like, I mean, they're not like smack in the middle, which is nice, but like, I feel like they might be some people's bathroom break, and that really worries me for them and their finals chances.
Well, I'm just going to tell them either go early or hold it in.
Yeah.
We have got to stick around. You need to listen.
Come on,
you need to listen to some Mama Gama.
You just went during Italy. You don't need to go again.
Exactly. Italy's already going to the grand final anyway.
Yeah, you don't need to watch that. You don't need to potentially get tuberculosis from this sick Victorian child.
Yeah. Like,
I will never get tired of you saying that. So.
I just like, especially after seeing the live performance, that's all I can see is like that woman who wanted to be more beautiful, so she got tuberculosis, which was a thing back in the days when being sickly was attractive.
Well then, all right, that's a choice. And thank you, Italy, for bringing that to Eurovision 2025.
All right. Any other thoughts on semifinal one?
My thoughts for semifinal one carry over into semifinal two with the placement of these big five plus Switzerland. Mm-hmm. I took a look at last year's, and because it didn't seem as disjointed, and last year they kind of spaced it out. It wasn't like completely even, but it was like, every 4 or 5 songs, there was a big 5 or the winning country. And this year, it is not equal. You know, you've got Switzerland going right before Cyprus, and then you've got, was it Germany going right before Serbia and Finland. So the end of the show feels a little bit harder to understand the placement of those big 5.
Would you rather them like kick it off with a big 5 or have them go second, and so then you can
I think
have the end of the show more?
I want like 3 or 4 songs still to go before the show is over, because leaving 1 or 2 songs, it almost leaves them like out to dry in a sense.
Yeah.
You know, you did this song that doesn't count, that we aren't putting towards a vote, and then hold on, guys, there's one more song. You know, it just
I think
feels weird.
it definitely feels weirder in the first semifinal since there's only one after, and the second one,
Right.
since you have 2, like that
At
doesn't
least
feel
there's
quite as
2.
weird. Yeah. But I think I kind of agree that it almost would have made sense to start sprinkling them in higher in the run order. So then you have a solid block of, like you said, I mean, I feel like 3 songs after the last automatic qualifier makes more sense. But then again, they didn't hire me.
Right, they didn't hire me, but that is my biggest criticism of the whole thing, is where they put the
And yeah, and I know they drew first half, second half, but like maybe I wouldn't be as weird about it in semifinal 1 if like that was Spain. That last one.
Yeah.
If it was like they put Switzerland as the first automatic qualifier and then had Spain at the end.
I think I'm also just very bitter that I am worried that Cyprus won't make it. And so for Cyprus to have to do such a huge lift of bringing the crowd back into it after such a slow song,
Mm-hmm.
and you're the last one, like, I just think there's potentially a lot working against them.
But I think if anyone can do it, it's Theo.
I think Theo can do it.
Theo, I still believe in you. Like,
Yeah.
Theo,
Let's
get
go.
naked. Yeah.
Come on, Adonis.
Yeah. Just get naked,
One
as naked as
one
you
or both
can.
Adonis.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Adonai? Is that the plan?
Shall we talk semifinal 2?
Semifinal 2.
I'm just going to run through the
One extra
countries. So we start with Australia. 2 is Montenegro, 3 Ireland, 4 Latvia, 5 Armenia, then Austria, then UK, then Greece, Lithuania, Malta, Georgia, then France, Denmark, Czechia, Luxembourg, Israel, then Germany, then Serbia, and we close with Finland.
Can I just say bravo to the production who strategically placed Australia, Malta, and Finland as
First,
beginner, middle, and end to give us Milkshake Man, Say It Loudly and Say It Proudly, Cunt, and Ikome right there.
That was like,
Bravo.
in case you were forgetting, this is sexy.
Yeah. In case you're forgetting,
This is the 69th edition. Thank you.
69th
Mhm.
Eurovision Song Contest.
And we're not going to let you forget it.
With a second semifinal. That theme is basically about sex. So
Basically.
Well, props to production, right? Like they had the draw, and so it was left up to them to decide where they were going to go. And it was like, okay, you have one job, and they got it right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if there's no other takeaway, we can at least remember this.
Yeah.
Yes.
That said, oh, Nina.
Poor Nina.
It was so nice to have you play.
Welcome
nice
back.
To be nominated.
Welcome back, Montenegro. Sorry that you have to go right
Between
after
Milkshake Man and Like a Party. Ugh.
Honestly, though, like, this sets up Ireland to possibly advance.
Yeah,
you
that's true.
Between 2 songs that are, shall we say, less than
Hype.
Hey,
Amazing. Hype.
you leave my Latvian cult ladies alone. They might still do
I
something.
do love me a Latvian cult, but I also like a party.
They've
Steven,
already recruited
Steven,
Kyle. They've
just
already
take your
recruited-
headphones off real quick while we talk bad about your cult so that you don't get in trouble for it.
Listen,
Um,
they've already recruited Kyle Alessandro. I saw the video. They've already recruited him.
I think Vibe recruited Kyle Alessandro.
There's enough of him to go around.
Yeah, he's definitely making the rounds. That
But
being
then-
said,
Eurovision
Latvia,
party.
Latvia into
They're placing it.
Armenia. So you could go poop during that show. If you need to. Just take an extended break.
If you need an extended break or the line for getting alcohol or something is just too long, then
You got time.
yes, you got some
got time.
time.
Nah.
And if you're not on the JJ hype train, you got a real
You got a
long
lot of time.
Oh,
And then the
no.
UK. Girl, yeah, this first half is
The first half of
You have to either
semifinals
love it
is
or hate it.
rough.
You have to
think,
either love it or hate it.
but I think this really is going to give Ireland that opening because it's going to be
Yes.
like they're going to be so the bright spot of that first half that I mean I could see it playing out one of two ways. Either people completely write off the first half basically. Or they have a bright spot in like a party. Although a lot of people online really hate that song.
Which is so weird.
A lot of people. So
good song.
I've seen a bunch of like Reddit posts about like, how dare you? That dog died cold and scared and betrayed, and it's like, yes,
That's
and
the
we.
point.
That's
And we
why-
talk about it.
That's why we're deciding to be like, what if the Soviets hadn't been evil to this perfect pure creature?
That's where she was going with it this whole time.
Yeah, I mean,
It-
like it's like,
But
you're
this
not
is
paying
almost like-
attention.
This is the opposite of Slovenia's targeted attack, whereas this is
Mm.
like, hey, let's think up on the positive side. Shit went down,
Yeah.
shit happened, and the world is awful. But what if? You know?
And is it like rosy and a little saccharine about it? Yeah, like, but also like, these are the kinds of things like all dogs go to heaven and like a party are like the only ways I can emotionally handle the idea that dogs die.
I still
With a
can't
little-
handle it.
With a
And
little
that-
sprinkle of
To
bubblegum
say that
pop.
I can handle it is I cry every day to my
Oversimplification,
dog
I get it.
Yes.
that
I
he
get it.
cannot die. So
I actually,
So,
I see it differently because, like, I love Latvia's song.
Spin it to Latvia. Ready, go.
As we all know,
you're not going to recruit me.
I'm, Burma. Armenia, I mean, it would be nice if, some of our streaming services would finally post the song so we can get it on our playlist.
So we can let it grow on us if it
Let
will.
it grow on us. And I love Austria. So to me, I'm just like, I'm down for it. I don't know why people are shitting all over this lineup.
Just you wait for bop or flop. Oh my god.
I know, right?
Ooh.
World.
And then, I mean, I still don't understand UK, but I still sing it every time, like, they sing What
Yeah.
the Hell Just Happened. Like, it comes naturally.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just like, Nina's fucked, but thanks for coming to the party.
Please come back next year again,
Yeah.
Montenegro.
I hope-
we
I
really
hope y'all come
enjoyed
back. Yeah.
Montesong.
Yeah, I hope y'all come back next year with some really random songs again that we still enjoyed.
Pour one out for Scorpion.
Yes. Oh, if
I
this had been Scorpion, I wouldn't be worried about them.
Oh.
Actually,
I'm
I still
not
would
wor-
be.
I'm not
I'm
worried
worried about
about
all
this
these
lineup.
small countries, always.
Oh yeah, you got to be worried about these small countries.
I'm not worried about this lineup.
I will say Malta was put in a good spot with who they become before and after. I also
Oh,
think
yes.
Denmark's in a pretty good spot with
Yes.
who they're before and after. So I'm feeling it for them.
Yeah.
Honestly, that
Um,
second half is fairly strong. You with Denmark, Czechia, and Luxembourg. I
mhm.
think they're going to be
All in a
okay.
row. It's great.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
I think that's going to be a really fun like set right there.
Hmm.
That'll be really fun back to back. I hope that's like a segment that they don't break up, you know, because they'll have like
Oh yeah,
commentary,
with
they'll
like
come in
yep,
and or they
commercial.
like cut to commercial and stuff. So I kind of hope they just let those run.
Back to back
Just
to
let it
back. Like,
happen.
let's
Let
just
it
Yeah.
keep that
happen.
energy going.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, you know, because again, vibe shift between Le Poupée Montresson and New Day Will Rise, that's a perfect time to
That's
like come and have a conversation, you know, do your little jokes back and forth, you know, have a
right.
little funny or a little something,
Do
and
what the
then
Swiss do.
finish out the, you know, kind of
Need
finish
a
out
little
the show.
palate cleanser between songs,
But like
Yeah.
it's so
between
weird.
energies.
It's gonna be weird though because you go Israel, Germany, Serbia, Finland. Like, what
Yeah.
is that?
That last segment is going to be
It's uppers and
interesting.
They're
downers. Uppers and downers.
they're
Keeping
trying
you
to
on your
make
toes.
the best show possible. Because if you had all slow songs in a row, yeah, we're all gonna sleep through the first half, but then
Yeah.
it's not. You're not really putting on a
Yeah.
show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do we think about Serbia going next to last?
I mean,
Great bathroom
I
break
will.
before you have to like dance the dance of life. Like,
And then
This
vote.
and then
this
vote.
could actually serve Serbia well, just being towards the end. You've got a big finish. It could be rememberable. I don't know.
I don't know.
You've got a lot of Balkan countries in this semifinal,
True.
so points could go their way because, as we know, the only people voting in the semifinal are the people
Our
competing
participants.
in the
Yeah.
semifinal.
Hmm.
So it could actually help Serbia.
Yeah.
And
And
we saw them advance last year.
but I also think that I don't know. I'm very curious to see because I know Erica Vickman has been pretty vocal about like not wanting to tone down her performance, not wanting to make these changes that the EBU wants her to make. And so I'm curious to see if she does some sort of like malicious compliance and tones it down in the ways that it was really toned up and then like goes and does something else kind of crazy. But I know they were not going to like let her do something totally crazy. But
I mean, but if we don't have a microphone stand coming, then it is a failure.
I'm not going to say it's a failure because I believe very much in Erica's creativity.
I like your optimism there.
So
I'm just saying, like, I hope she doesn't tone it down, but I wonder what that could look like. You know,
yeah,
still
She
being
gave
true
us
to
a
herself,
she gave us
I
a
think
preview with
right?
her nun outfit.
yeah, I think it's going to be more euphemistic and a little less overt, like a little more entendre, which I think will be
I
fun.
mean, I will if I was able to vote in the semifinal. I think I did. They let us vote.
Yeah, you can vote.
I think we voted.
Rest of the world.
Rest of the world.
Rest of the
We're the
world.
rest of the world.
I don't know who will get my vote, but she's very much a contender for that vote.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So I think
I
her
think
placement is going to be a good way to round out the show. Like, it was a good choice to put her last.
I think now that we're kind of digging into this, Stephen, what you said about there being more bops in the second semifinal, I have to disagree.
Wow. Go on.
Katie is coming for you,
I
Steven.
mean
All right, let's go.
my like favorites, Bada Bada Bastu, Essa Diva, Espresso Macchiato, Strobe Lights I do really love. They're growing on me. Run With You, I'm obsessed with. And I think like those are I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking too soon, but those are kind of my top 5 right now. And they're all in semifinal one. Actually,
Those
maybe take off and put like a party as my top 5, but still 4 in one and 1 in the other.
right. I mean, for me, the bops are still in there in semifinal one, but like Hallucination,
True.
I'm jamming out to. I don't know why we're shitting on Austria, but like minus the unnecessary techno at the end, I fucks with it.
And that's my favorite part.
I don't know why we shit on the cult ladies, but like I love Latvia.
Bro, you keep saying we shit on them. We know you don't. You can just blame us. Doug and I are the ones shitting on those ones, and that's okay for you to say it.
Yeah.
We know. We know we're haters. It's us, we're haters.
Malta, Ireland. I love Australia, Finland, loving me.
I mean, they're pretty.
Czechia.
They're
like
pretty
they're all
divided up.
there, and Luxembourg, like they're all there.
And
for me in semifinal too. So
I would say my overall takeaway is that we could analyze this all day and where they're at and how it's going to help or how it's going to hurt. And of course, we have our initial first impressions, but I think we're going to get a good show regardless. And I think both of them are going to be a good time. I will be sad when one of my favorites doesn't make it in because I'm realistic about what
as we always
right.
do.
Like we're going to be realistic. Like when we talk a little bit about our top favorites, we're also going to talk about who's not going to make it. And I think that there's a big difference between who I personally don't want to make it versus the reality of the situation.
Justice for Luna.
Justice for Luna.
Yeah. And so there's going to be, because if it was up to me, JJ wouldn't be making the finals, but I know it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think what's like kind of crazy is that with the way the draw came out, they have both shows are going to have a lot of highs and lows and energy, and they're going to have a lot of like dynamism in that way, and they both have some of the really, really good, really popular songs. And so I think that that's like, however that worked out, that the draw had, like, I feel like last year semifinal, I might get in order which one is which, but I feel like semifinal 2 was just way tougher competition, or maybe no, semifinal 1.
Semifinal 1, I feel like, was the one that was more of a bloodbath.
Yeah, because that's the one that Luna got cut from. Yep. And so I feel like that one had such a high concentration of like the fan favorites and the ones that had so much hype going into it. And so that was like a really hard semifinal to be in, where now it feels a little bit more even. And, I think that's great news. I think if you came in with a less strong song that like the people aren't hyped about, you're more nervous because it's not like, oh, I'm in the weaker semifinal, so I might still squeak by. Like, it's going to be a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Sorry, Nina.
Yeah.
Still sorry, Nina.
The run order was a good overall way of doing it. And I think, to your point, Katie, about dividing things up, it's very interesting that you get Sweden in 6th position and Austria also in 6th position, and in the odds, those are the top 2 songs. So it's almost like, all right, who's going to take their semifinal? It's going to be somebody from the 6th position, probably.
I kind of do think that it's going to be like those two are going to, if the odds are to be believed, if like the projections are to be believed, those are going to be, well, not that we know right away like who won each one, but we'll find out after. I think those are probably going to be our top 2.
Probably duking it out, and it's
the number ones
very interesting
in their respective semifinals.
They both ended up going 6th in their semis.
Strategery.
I'm hyped. I'm ready for it. Let's go. I'm excited as we get into the month of April that we are going to be able to really give our predictions, talk shit about each other and the songs you chose. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're going to start learning more stuff about, we'll get little previews of staging. We're already starting to get revamped versions of things, so we'll have more of those and be able to, kind of see what we think about that. We were talking before we started recording that we're all a fan of the revamp of Luxembourg, but not the remix. But like, I think the revamp was better. And I'm honestly disappointed in the revamp of Spain.
Yeah.
I think they took a lot of the energy out of it.
Not every revamp is needed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but we're going to get more of those and actually kind of firm up what the actual songs that are going as played are going to be. And I think that might make a little bit of a difference in kind of how we feel about this run order and everything. And so,
and their true
but I mean, we're
potential.
going to have a good show.
Yes, we are.
I am nervous to like lock down our predictions, right? Because like any given moment, any given day, how you're feeling, how many times you've heard the song that day, like up and down.
I mean, we do know that Denmark, we know that
we're in.
There's also that, but we do know, I mean, we know Denmark is getting like a full staging revamp. And I loved,
which I think that'll be good.
POV. I love her own POV of her.
Her own PR queen, because her Instagram is amazing, and I love her.
I know, I love her. I want us to Kiki while we're in Basel.
Yeah, I heard jokes about, because honestly, my first thought when I was watching that one was like, why is the fan behind her?
And she's
because it was all all her hair came forward. Like, it's like, have we learned nothing from Beyonce after all of these years? Put it right here and have it like blow your hair back. It really made.
She's a good sport about it. She's in on the joke. You know what I'm saying?
She's totally leaned into it. She's like,
and then she's like, "Go ahead, give us nothing." I'm like, yes. So I'm excited to see what she does with it. What she learns.
when I need a good pick me up in my day, if it's just like not going right, I just go to that video, and it's a great one. It gets me back into a good mindset.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, on that note, all right. I think we're good. So excellent. Well, to our listeners, let us know what you think about the semifinal 1 and semifinal 2 lineup. If you're listening on either YouTube or Spotify, just let it be known in the comments. And thanks for catching this episode. Be sure to give this episode a like. If you're listening on either platform, you can do that, and you can also just subscribe or follow. You can catch us on YouTube and Spotify there. You can also see us and catch us on Instagram or TikTok at Eurovision Kiki. If you got questions, leave them in the comments or send those to our email at eurovisionkiki@gmail.com. Maybe one day we'll do a Q&A, but you have to actually ask us questions in order for that to happen. Oop. So, that'll do it for Doug, Katie, and myself. Hope everybody is well and hope everybody is getting excited. And we will see you all at our next Kiki.
Bye.
Bye.